Hey guys, Taylor and Polly here from Beaten Jeans. And today we're talking with Maxine. Maxine has CDH1 and she's had a gastrectomy, and that's about the extent that we know about her. So we're going to go ahead and invite her in and we'll all hear her story together.
Excited to get to know her a little more.
Let's see. Oh, here, click that right there.
Click what?
Go ahead. Ask to start video. Oh, there she is. Hi, Maxine.
Hi, Maxine.
We can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
Shoot. Says you're connected.
Connected.
Can we hear you now?
Good. Yes.
Hey, how are you?
Hi. I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I'm so excited to have you join us today.
I'm so excited. I've been watching what you two do for a little while now. And I just need to say thank you for how much you two do for our little tiny community.
Oh, it is a tiny community, but we love doing it. So
It's our little club.
Yeah, it is. It's a little club.
It's our little family, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
The only people who understand, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's a small group.
So where are you coming from? Where are you sitting?
I'm in Jersey City right now. I'm in one of our amenity spaces.
Very cool.
Yeah.
What space?
I'm in one of our amenity spaces. So I work as a leasing agent at the building I live in. So this is we have a recording studio. So this is my first time using it.
Oh, very cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you work at where'd you go?
I got a call.
Oh, like an apartment complex?
Mm-hmm. It's a little community of buildings in Jersey City.
Wow, I used to do that.
You did.
As a leasing agent for an apartment complex.
Oh.
So I know what you go through, kind of, sort of. That was a smaller town, but
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you again. So I was perusing your Instagram page, and I know that you were diagnosed with cancer before you had your surgery. Is that correct?
No. So I was diagnosed after.
Okay.
So after they removed my stomach, they did the test and they found out that I had stage 1.
Okay. So you had CDH1, obviously, and that's why you decided to move forward with the surgery. So how did you find out that you carried CDH1?
So when I was a freshman in college, my mom was diagnosed with stomach cancer. I ended up leaving college to go home and take care of her. And then during the time she was sick, was diagnosed with stage 4. And about 3 years in, we did the genetic test, and then they found out that I had it.
Oh my gosh. So
Yes.
How long was is your mom, is she still alive?
No, she passed away in 2017. And her story with the genetic testing is actually kind of crazy because she has a twin. Her twin didn't have it. Her brother didn't have it. My sister, thank God, didn't have it. So I'm the last in the line of our family to have the gene.
That's really interesting. Her twin, was it her?
So it must have been fraternal.
Yeah, I was going to say not identical.
It was fraternal. And actually her father had stomach cancer, he actually had his stomach removed all the way back in the day. And I always laugh because the doctor gave him Guinness to drink after the stomach was removed. So we've come a lot of way. Yeah.
All the nutrients.
Well, it's fattening, and I guess it helps with the pain.
Wow. How many years ago was that? That's so funny.
Oh, I don't know. He died around the same time I was, when my mom was my age when her father died, of the same gene. So Yeah.
But of course, we didn't know that your grandfather's, or you didn't know that your grandfather had CDH1, but he did die of stomach cancer.
Yeah, they had no idea about genetic testing. I think that's something that my mom always like carried around like guilt over is like, before you have a kid, you could do genetic testing, but they just didn't know back then about this. And that's
No.
why I love what you two do, because we're really like raising awareness, like to get like genetically tested so you know about these things before you like have kids. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So what made you decide to move forward with the surgery?
So I was really, really young. Like I was about to turn 21 when I first got diagnosed. And
What now?
I know. I was going to say.
Thank you. Yeah, I was really young and it was really scary actually. And it took me a little while to actually move forward with it because there's so many people that say, oh, you can wait, you could do it later. But honestly, just like I really struggled with my like health mentally about it because being so young, like it kind of felt like a death sentence. Like my friends were worried about like what they want to do after college. And I was worried about like, am I going to have an organ removed? What job can I get after my organ was removed? I didn't understand what life would look like. And most of the people I could find online, they were a lot older than me. Like they already had kids, they already had the job, they already had the family. So I was really, really nervous about those things. I think one of the first questions I actually asked was, I'm about to turn 21. Can I still drink?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, it affects your entire life, everything after you have your stomach removed. What did they say? Did they say, yeah? Well, obviously your grandpa did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. But like it was a really big decision. It was really hard, like not knowing what life would look like after surgery for me. So I took a couple years, and of course, like my main job at the time was just caring for my mom. Like I wanted to be 100% and like see her through her battle with stomach cancer before we could even focus on what happened with me. So after she passed away, like I was at a really low place in my life, like mentally, because my purpose was just taking care of my mom all the time. So after that, I spent like a year. I was very, very depressed. I gained a bunch of weight because there's that mentality like, oh, I'm not going to be able to eat like French fries and hamburgers again. Yeah. So I ate everything. I gained like 70 pounds.
Oh my God.
It was a lot, but like it was a lot of weight. Like, and I kind of regret that mentality of like thinking that I wasn't going to be able to eat certain foods again and then just eating everything as an excuse. But
how much time was that? I mean, to gain, was that like in a year span?
It was like 6 to 8 months. Like right after my mom died, I just fell into such a deep depression.
Double whammy, the depression and thinking I'm never going to be able to eat again. It's just
two types of depression.
I know. And you're so
yeah.
And you're right. I mean, even when I found out I had it, there was a lot out there about it, but yet I still didn't grasp how you could live without a stomach. It's just something that's really hard to wrap your mind around. It is.
Yeah, but I always describe it to people when I talk about it as like, if I was diagnosed with diabetes, I could ask the kid in my class, what's it like to have diabetes? I didn't know anyone. I didn't have like an example. Like there was no one like I could look at and be like, oh, he's doing okay. She's doing okay. So I'm going to be okay.
Right. What year was this? How many years ago was that?
When I got diagnosed or when I got my stomach removed?
Diagnosis.
So I was diagnosed probably 2016.
Okay.
And then my mom passed away 2017. And then at 2019, like I just hit like this point where I was just like, I can't just like keep putting it off, and I can't have this weighing on me. I described it as like living with a ticking time bomb. Like after you watch like a parent like slowly like suffer for years, like that's all you could think about, like that happening to you too.
Yeah, it's very
I just can't even imagine. I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Had your sister and did you say your brother there with you too during?
Well, I had my sister and my father, and my father's girlfriend Jane, who like saw me through, my grandma. Yeah. But yeah, I hit this point where I realized my friend something really smart to me, like, oh, you should see it as, oh, you're responsible for ending the line in your family of this, because you're going to grow up, you're going to get in vitro, you're going to get your stomach removed, and your family's not going to have to go through stomach cancer again.
Yep, absolutely.
No stomach, no cancer.
Like, I got it. Yeah. Crusader. So yeah, I mean, that's dumb to make that decision, but still it was weighing on you. You saw your mother pass. So what made you finally decide that I'm going to pull the trigger and I'm going to go ahead and have the surgery?
I just hit like the lowest point in my life, like just so depressed, and I wasn't moving forward with anything that my friends were. My friends weren't around. They were all in college. They were all away. Mm-hmm. And I just like hit this point where I was just like, I can't keep living like this. And I had a feeling, like this inner like gut feeling, that I was already sick. And for a while, people just said, oh, no, you're just grieving. You're just really depressed. You're just unhappy. You've just gained a lot of weight. But I started throwing up a bit. I started feeling like really like sluggish. And like I just had a feeling something was wrong, like a gut feeling. And then we just decided to move forward with the surgery and just got to move on with life. Yeah.
Now, were you doing screening before that, or did you just
I was.
Okay, you were. Okay.
I was going, I think it was like every 6 months. And that was for about 2 or 3 years. At first, they made you do like the colonoscopy, but then they found out that it wasn't linked. So they told me I didn't need to do the colonoscopy anymore, which was great. And then it was just that endoscopies, but nothing ever came back. Nothing.
You know,
where were you being seen?
Sloan Kettering in New York.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And do you know how many biopsies they were taking when you were doing your screenings?
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
So you were set up in the right spot with the right doctor who was knowledgeable. Was he knowledgeable about gastrectomies? Had he done one before?
So I had Dr. Strong, who's amazing. She does a lot of them. And I also like the way she did it was she took my intestine, she looped it, and then she connected it to my esophagus, and she went in laparoscopically. So my scars, I don't really have scars anymore. Wow. Like they are so tiny. People don't like believe me when I say that this happened. Like someone once told me it looks like you just had a belly button ring at one point, but besides that,
like 3 little dots or something when you
so it's I'll show you. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they go in through the belly button. And then something else that I like that
I know, how do they get it out? They pull it through.
I mean, that's like tiny a big organ.
So they vacuum it.
Oh.
They vacuum it out, and then they sew it up and reattach it. They like looped my intestine in a circle, and then they attached it to my esophagus.
So they have like a vacuum that like sucks the stomach out of your belly button?
Well, so like that's the big suckers through the belly button, and then the fourth, like the 2 on the side, like reattached everything.
Wow. Isn't that amazing?
How does it fit through your belly button?
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Compresses. It gets, well, it's just an open sac, right? So it probably decompresses like a little bag.
Maybe it doesn't come out intact. It's like a little piece of, I don't know. We need to ask.
Yeah. Well, they break it up and then they suck it out.
Oh, they cut it up. Oh, wow.
Yeah, they splice it and then reattach it.
Wow.
Now, how was your recovery?
Well, my recovery, honestly, like looking back on it and hearing other people's stories, I really think Dr. Shong did an amazing job with my surgery. Because, you know, the first night I remember I had a fever and that was really scary. But that broke, it was fine. I stayed at my dad's. I started with the liquids, then moved on to like mushy foods the next week, and then went back to solids in like, I think it was like 3 weeks. But something great that Dr. Strong does is she doesn't put in the feeding tube after. I told her because I was really young. I was like 23. I was like, I'm so worried I'm going to have scars. Like really, really big scars. And then she was like, we're not even going to do like the feeding tube. We're just going to do it for like small incisions. And now you can't even tell that I had this done. Yeah, she was amazing.
And how long was your stay in the hospital?
It was 1 week.
Okay. Did you start eating in the hospital, the liquids, or did you wait till you got to your dad's?
I waited, I think it was like 2 days to start with the liquids. I couldn't have much. It was just very small sips of stuff. And then once I got to my dad's, it was like the soft foods after a week.
So you had a fever that first night. Did that end up being anything or did it go away?
No, so it was nothing. It was just like a small fever, like, and it was like a tiny infection during the surgery. Also, the worst part of my surgery, I will say, is that both of my lungs collapsed in operation.
Oh, how did that happen?
They said it was because of the position I was in during surgery. They like put your body like this, and then both of my lungs collapsed, and that was brutal.
Oh.
I mean, you're so wow.
I'm sorry?
Like,
no.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So what did they have to do to reverse that?
You know, when you have pneumonia and you breathe into the tube and then you keep doing like the scale, like trying to push it up. I had to do that for like, it was like a month and a half. And I don't know if you've ever had issues with your lungs or pneumonia, but when you have like so little oxygen in your system, you go from being like 21 to like 95, like just lifting your arm like this, like without oxygen. It was the hardest part of everything was my lungs.
I mean, even you're supposed to get up and walk after surgery. It was probably really hard for you to do that if you're not having all the oxygen that you're used to having. Yeah,
it took me, I think like, you're supposed to be walking like the next day after surgery, but I think I took like an extra like 2 days. I was just focusing on like standing up. And then the walking was really hard. Even I remember I was at my dad's for about 2 weeks, and we were in New York at the time. I couldn't walk like one city block, like at all, without being exhausted. That was the worst part of it, I think.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Is there a part of you, I'm sure there wasn't, that you regretted it, but were you just like, what have I done to myself? Like, am I ever going to be normal again? Did that go through your mind at all?
Well, once they removed my stomach, they came in. I don't really remember because I was on so many drugs at the time, but they came in and they told me that I had stage 1. So it's like, how could I regret it at all? No. Like I since I got my surgery, there hasn't been one day where I've been able to say like, I regret doing this. I think everything just happened at the perfect timing. I think one of the few people ever who will say I'm grateful I had cancer. Because if I didn't, I think I would have like some regrets of doing it so young.
Right.
But now I can't say that.
I think that's the thought process. You want to be stage 1 because you want to feel like, okay, there was a purpose, there was a reason for this. But it's anything more than that, then it's, then you have to deal with the medications and the chemo and everything. So it was the perfect timing. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was the perfect timing is the exact way to put it.
Yeah. And then now you were worried before you did the surgery that you were never going to be able to eat. You weren't going to be able to drink alcohol. So how is life now? Are you able to eat and drink and all of that?
Well, so yeah, like all those things I was so worried about when I was younger, like I'm able to eat. I go out to dinner with my friends. They love going out to dinner with me, I'll say, because they get a meal and a half because I can't finish my plate. And yeah, I could drink alcohol, a bit of a lightweight now. And like, also I feel like I'm more active now. Like I go rock climbing, I go running. I'm more active now after my surgery than I was before, like physically.
Wow. And why do you think that is?
Well, I think when you have like the near-death experience when you're really young, you stop taking life for granted. You really realize, like, you get one body, you need to take care of it. And before, when my mom was really sick, I kind of went into like this comatose phase where I was just so overwhelmed with depression. And then after, I just, it gave me like more reason to like live and like do a lot more with my life. I started getting more involved with my community, doing some of the cancer like stuff in that community. And it was just very eye-opening at a very young age. So I'm really grateful for that experience. Yeah.
Wow. It almost just changed your life for the better in a way.
It's a rebirth.
I always say that it has. I was so worried about it, but like I really feel like it was supposed to happen to me. And I don't know. It really did change my life for the better.
Can you tell us about some of the things that you've accomplished? You said that you're working in the cancer community. Can you tell us some of the things that you've done?
Yeah. So, my dad is actually on the board of, he's a vice president of Debbie's Dream Foundation. So,
okay.
Yeah. So we just had the March on Washington event, which was really great.
Oh, that's right.
And we've like organized some fundraisers. My sister's a rock star. She organized the Night of Laughter. And we had Colin Jost, Michael Che, Melissa Villaseñor, all these people from SNL come host it. It was really cool.
That's so incredible. Cool. And then what proceeds go towards Debbie's Dream, or how did that work?
The proceeds went to Debbie's Dream, and they went to like giving like doctors like grants so they could study to become like the surgeons that like take out our stomachs, and then also went to research. Yeah.
That's really incredible. Neat. Thank you for doing all that.
Yeah.
That's great. Thanks to your sister and your dad.
We love
it. They're great. They're so great at like the organizing and
Are you going to try and follow in your dad's footsteps and be part of the board there at Debbie's Dream?
Yeah, well, I'm starting a chapter in Jersey City. But it's a little tricky because I want people who have like either lost a family member or are going through this to be on that board. So we have like, there's one girl I met in Hoboken, and then there's one girl that I met in New York. So we're talking about putting that together now.
It's really cool. So you know other people around you that either carry the mutation or have had gastrectomies.
Yeah. Now I do. But when I found out, I was in the suburbs. This is the good thing about living in a city, is you get to connect with more people from our little club.
Absolutely. How cool. I think that's so wonderful. You've accomplished so much.
You have. And how old are you now? You were 23 when you had your surgery.
I am 28 now.
5 years out. And what would you say is your biggest hurdle that you have post gastrectomy, or do you have any?
I'm actually doing really well. I really think that the way that I did my operation came with like a lot of like minimum like side effects. The biggest thing I miss is being able to chug water, honestly. That's something I really struggle with, is staying hydrated. I think it's because like the density of it. So like sometimes I try to thicken it up or like drink something like juice instead. My weight, I don't really struggle to like maintain my weight. I'm okay with sugar. I know that's been a side effect for like some people, but I don't have that.
You don't get dumping syndrome from sugar?
No, I don't get that. I've only had one really bad experience on Thanksgiving. I ate 2 slices of pumpkin pie, which was a big mistake, and I had a huge headache, but I didn't have the dumping syndrome.
Wow. I think that's unheard of.
That is.
Two
Really?
slices, huh?
Oh, well, like I think again, it's like the way they did my surgery. I think the intestine loop, and I think my surgery, like it kind of feels very natural because there's no what's it called? The like, don't they loop some people?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Some people, they have a little pouch.
Yeah.
I don't think they do that very much anymore.
What do you mean, like the candy cane?
No, like a little. They make a sack out of your intestines.
Oh,
is that what you're talking about? Did they do the Roux-en-Y too? Is that what you're talking, Roux-en-Y? When you say the
I'm
loop?
not sure. Well, they loop the intestine, they create the pouch, and they attach it to your esophagus.
So you do have a pouch.
Well, yeah, but it's only made out of my intestine.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I didn't know they could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isaiah has a pouch.
Oh,
James and Isaiah.
Huh.
So maybe that's why you don't get the dumping.
I wonder.
Yeah, I think I don't know. My surgery feels like very natural and like just taking out the storage shed of the stomach. I don't this is kind of gross, but like for the first year of my surgery, I threw up like almost every single day because I couldn't control myself. And I don't have like acid when I throw up anymore, which is weird. I don't know if you guys have that.
Another thing that's unheard of is no one ever throws up.
Right. So when you say you couldn't control yourself, were you saying like you were eating too much and so then it would come back up? Is that what you mean by that?
Yeah, I was eating too much and then it would come back up.
And then come back up?
Sorry?
You would actually throw up.
Yes, but it was, I think, within like the 15 minutes that it's still in your esophagus.
Oh.
Yeah. But I don't get like throw up like that. So when I tell people I throw up every day for a year, it wasn't that bad without the stomach acid.
Right. It's just you retaste the food again.
But I feel like I've had bile reflux like 3 times, and that is horrible. Have you not had to experience that?
Oh yeah, I've had that. It's probably since my surgery happened like the first year it happened like 6 times. Second year went down to like 3 times. And this like past year, like full year, it's probably only happened once. It is terrible. And I threw out my triangle pillow. I'm sure you know what I'm talking about because I thought it was never going to come back again.
Oh no, now you need it.
I know, it's the day you need it. But I have what's it called? Gaviscone that really helps with that. I don't know if you've heard of it.
Do you take that every day or only when it happens to you?
Only when it happens. I keep it by my bedroom drawer just in case. But yeah, that's the worst feeling. Oh my goodness. But it's like a thick paste. It's like a thick white paste. It smells like peppermint. Tastes disgusting, and it really does help though. Dr. Strong told me to get that. Yeah.
Wow. And then are they following up with like bone density or blood work or anything like that?
Yeah, the only thing that I really struggle with now is like B12, so I just take my vitamin. Bone density, I actually had a recent scare with that. I fell off an e-scooter and I fractured both of my elbows.
Oh.
And so, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but it's okay. I didn't fracture my face, so I don't regret going like that.
I've heard of the worst stories on those things. They're dangerous.
The doctors at the hospital were like, this is the number one reason people come into this hospital is e-scooters.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I had a scare with that. I got really nervous that was the bone density, why I fractured both. I went in for a check and I'm good. So no bone density issues. But there's.
You had a DEXA scan?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I also get the breast exams. I do that once a year. I'm all good with that. Have you guys had the mastectomies? You have, right?
I have.
She did.
Yeah. I'm a little nervous for that one. But I think I'm going to wait till I'm older. They told me I could wait till like 33, 35 for that.
Did you have any
history?
Yeah. Do you have a family history of breast cancer?
My granny on my mom's side had breast cancer.
Okay. But your grandfather's the one who had the CDH1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you almost have a double whammy from both sides, which is a little scary.
Well, my dad's side's good, but it's my mom's side. Yeah.
But this.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, I'm so confused.
Wait. Okay. So
it was your mom's dad that had CDH1.
No, her mom's mom.
So my mom's dad had CDH1, the stomach cancer. My mom's mom died of breast cancer when she was like 90.
Yeah, not really.
Not related to CDH1.
No, not related to CDH1.
Oh, okay.
But I mean, there's a scare from that side and there's a scare from the CDH1 side. So I think it's good for your annual checkups. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're doing the annual, are you doing the MRI or are you doing a mammogram? What type of screening are you doing for the lobular?
So I'm doing the mammogram and then the MRI. It switches every year. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Yeah.
Well, it's amazing to see you just doing so well. And I think it's always good for me to hear someone who's having the outcome that you're having, because that makes my decision so much easier. So I always appreciate talking to people like you. So thank you for opening up and sharing your story with us.
I also want to know about the vitamins you're taking. Are you taking the calcium and the multivitamin as well?
No, all I take is a multi and then a special B12, like little liquid under the tongue.
You don't have you take the calcium citrate?
No, I don't take that.
Wow, that's great.
But
you're both without it.
I do get the routine blood work. And then also in the beginning, I don't know if I mentioned this. So I went from weighing 199. I never hit 200. And then I shot down to weighing 215 within a year. So they gave me like a bunch of like different like vitamins to take at that time, just because I was really malnutritious. Like
115. Oh, you went from 199 to 115.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. The year after like my surgery, like within that time frame, I lost a crazy amount of weight.
But you lost the 70 pounds that you had gained.
Oh yeah, I was skinnier than like before I started.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big drop, though. I mean, even in that period of time, that's a lot on your body.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was a lot. I was very tired all the time, but I went back to college during that time and everything was online. My surgery was 2019 and then 2020, COVID. So everyone was doing college online. So I went back to college online and I kind of didn't feel different about doing that because that's what everyone was doing.
Yeah, that's another good timing aspect of it.
Yeah, definitely. Like everyone was at home doing college that way, so I didn't feel like different. And then I did really well there. Yeah.
Was your dad or your sister, were they able to be in the hospital with you when you had your surgery?
No, it was right before 2020. So it was like 4 months before like the pandemic really hit. And then I was really like worried about going back to the hospital because I was worried about getting an infection because of the really bad infection I had the night of my surgery.
Right.
And also my lungs.
Yeah.
So I was really, really worried about my lungs. Because I was like, what do they call it? Like at risk, pre-existing condition for sure.
Right. Absolutely. Oh my gosh. So it was the good time and a bad time.
Yeah, well, I isolated. I just studied on my computer. I was able to work out my lungs and then everything was good.
Well, do you have any like last words of advice for us or for the community that you could like offer a little bit of hope to people who may be, just newly diagnosed?
I would say that someone once said this to me and I took it with me and I live it every day of my life now, that the start of every story always happens when everything goes wrong. You're at your lowest point. The character is at the lowest point, and then the drama builds, and like you have to like hit that low for a new chapter to begin in your story and how to move forward. And I feel like having CDH1 going through this, like it's made me a better person. And I feel like it's made me like not take life for granted and want to help others in like our community. And I think it's a crazy ride, but the other side of it is good. And life goes on.
That too. It's true.
It is true.
It's a pendulum, right? It's always swinging back and forth. It's true.
Yeah. You got to go through the hard times to really appreciate the good times,
Yeah,
really do. You do.
And that's very hard what you went through.
Yeah.
Very hard.
Yeah, we're probably still going through it. That's hard to not have our mom with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I just like, I never regret it because I know my mom, she would have loved to have her stomach removed. So every time I'm a little down about it, I just think like, oh, my mom wishes that she could have gotten the surgery and been doing as well as I'm doing right now. So I have to live my days for her.
Yeah. So sweet. Oh, well, we love talking to you, Maxine, and it's so good to meet you. And hopefully we will cross paths since you're kind of involved with Debbie's dream. So maybe one day we will. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be so nice. Let me know if you're ever in New York.
Yes, we will.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and thank you again. Thank you for all you do, spreading awareness. And you two are amazing.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for helping with your story, for sharing it.
Yeah.
All right.
Have a good one.
Have a great rest of your day.
Bye, Maxine.
You too. Bye.